Hey guys, welcome back to another Disney and Draw. My name is Hala. I'm an author and illustrator of my own works, but I do love Disney quite a bit. I've grown up on them, and more so since becoming an adult have I taken a more deep interest into the Disney movies for the most part, but also some of the lore. So today we're just going to talk about Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, which is a book that follows Sally and Jack post the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. This book actually came out in 2022, so yes, I am late to the game. I'm sorry, I was doing the Twisted Tales, which there is a playlist up there that you can click on to check out those reviews as they are up to date. I'm just waiting on the next book to come out in the spring of 2026. So in the meantime, we're going to be delving into different Disney books. We just did Bemused last time, which was written by Farah Roshan, and it was a Hercules Muses, not quite retelling, but like a prequel to Hercules. And then I already have my next book lined up, but I'll let you guys know what that is at the end of this video. Alright, as per usual with my Disney book reviews, I guess with any book review in general that I've done up to date, we are going to do a little cover reveal with the summary of the book. So we'll do that real quick and pop away from the drawing here, which is no secret, it's Sally. But we'll talk about that in a second after we come back from a little summary here. Fair warning, if you can hear the humdrum in the background, my neighbors only decide to work on their lawn when I'm recording. I feel like this is every YouTuber's just bane of existence, but hopefully it's not too bad. Long live the Pumpkin Queen. Jack and Sally are truly meant to be. Or are they? Sally Skellington is the official, newly minted Pumpkin Queen after a whirlwind courtship with her true love Jack, who Sally adores with every inch of her fabric seams. If only she could say the same for her new role as Queen of Halloween Town. Cast into the spotlight and tasked with all sorts of queenly duties, Sally can't help but wonder if all she's done is trade her captivity under Dr. Finkelstein for a different, albeit gilded, cage. But when Sally and Zero accidentally uncover a long-hidden doorway to an ancient realm called Dreamtown in the forest hinterlands, she unknowingly set into motion a chain of sinister events that put her future as Pumpkin Queen and the future of Halloween Town itself into jeopardy. Can Sally discover what it means to be true to herself and save the town she's learned to call home? Or will her future turn into her worst, nightmare? I promise you all those intonations were in the writing, told me how to read it, wasn't me. In terms of summaries, like stuff that you read on the back of the books, granted, I did listen to the audiobook, so I am referencing this whole blurb from the Wiki from the Nightmare Before Christmas fandom, so I will link that below because they actually have like pictures, and I don't know if they're AI generated, so I'm not promoting that, but they have at least like some character reference pictures. They have different things, a lot more info if you guys needed to check that out. But not gonna lie, these fandom.com wiki pages are like secretly one of my favorite things. I believe this would be the summary on the back of the book. I have to assume as much, but I'm reading it off the wiki page since I don't have the physical copy. I actually like this summary. I think it's very well written. It touches on a bunch of the different things that we experience with Sally early on, and it doesn't give you that really like almost obnoxious ambiguity where you're like, I'm sorry, I don't want to reference reviews. I feel like I keep dragging that book and it's not fair. And maybe it was the way that I read it. All I'm saying is like, I don't know, when they try to make something bigger, like the muses were going on their big epic quest with trials and tribulations, and I just didn't feel that level of it. So it's me. I'm sure it's me. But I felt like this particular blurb was down to earth in a sense that now that I have also read the book, I can say, yes, that is all true. And it doesn't exaggerate points where I'm like, nah, you're just trying to like rope me in. This isn't real. So it's accurate. That's good. We like that. We do like that in a summary. We're off to a great start with the summary, and honestly, the book was great. I'm not even gonna drag that out and make you guys wonder. Again, if you've been here before, you can kind of tell from the get-go if I liked a book or not, so I guess I don't know why I act like I keep it a secret. But I really did enjoy this book, and the biggest part that I think lended to me enjoying it, and I am going to reference Bemused again only because it fits the bill here. Bemused was more of a prequel to the Hercules movie, even though it wasn't about Hercules, because it was set up pre what we already knew as canon, and I have yet to see them kind of break canon in those situations. There were certain things that I expected, but it had a limit on its box, right? This book, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, is a sequel, more so, to Nightmare Before Christmas. That being said, as long as we keep what did happen canon, anything goes. And not only that, I think they took really nice advantage of following Sally rather than Jack, but also were early on exploring parts of the world that I think people were curious about when they saw the movie, particularly the forest hinterlands with all the holiday trees. We get to see that in the first couple chapters because Jack and Sally go on their honeymoon and they actually go and visit Valentine Town, I believe that's Valentine's Town, for their honeymoon. And so I was immediately excited because I'm like, oh, we get to go see different worlds, because we had only seen Halloween Town and Christmas Town in the movie. And pretty much any adaptation, whether it be Kingdom Hearts or maybe just Kingdom Hearts. I can't think of anything else right now. No, I guess like if it appears in like a Disney game, usually you get Sandy Claus. But yeah, you don't get other stuff than that. So already excited because we're going to go see different towns. I think it did mention that her being queen, they did visit Thanksgiving Town, did they call it Independence Town? Or 4th of July? Like, I was kind of surprised that it was 4th of July, but then I was like, oh yeah, Thanksgiving is also an American holiday. But I digress. This is set in America to some degree. We do go out of the country, though, in this book, so that was fun. But yes, so these are all American holidays, and we get to visit Valentine? I should probably just check if this is Valentine Town or Valentine's Town. Valentine's Town, so it is a possessive. Which, as you would expect, looks like any Valentine's Day explosion at a grocery store where everything is pink and red and hearts. There are cupids everywhere, so like they literally birth these little babies, and once they earn their wings, they get to be cupids. So more lore was already generated about how that town worked, and because all of this was new, we didn't get a setup of, Sally goes and saves the world, or Sally gets this magical power. Like, we didn't have a setup where we saw what path she was taking. All we knew was Sally married Jack. She is now the Pumpkin Queen, and she's not very comfortable in the role, which I think is a very nice character challenge, because it does have a lot of possibilities, so you really don't know what to expect. Like, you could say it finds a way to embrace the role, or she finds a way to get out of the role. But the path there, very, very unknown. So she's having trouble getting acclimated to the queenly duties. It's asking a lot of her, and she doesn't know how she's supposed to present herself, because while they're in Valentine's Town, she meets the queen of Valentine's Town, Ruby Valentino, who is like all done up, high heels, big like couture dress and all that. And when they return to Halloween Town after that, like the witches are helping her get dressed up for her first like queenly presentation, I guess. And they like pull out the heels and the dress, and she's just overwhelmed. Understandably so, because Sally she's a very casual girl. She runs away from all that madness. Not desperately so, but like she runs out into the hinterlands kind of just to give herself some space, because she used to run away from Dr. Finkelstein to also take a break from that life. While she's out there, away from the forest of the holiday circles the circle of holiday trees. She finds a door that's been blocked, like kind of blocked off and covered. And she's with Zero, and Zero's kind of messing around. And she is curious about the door. So she uncovers it, she opens it. She doesn't go in. She does feel the pull trying to get her in, but like Zero is not about it. So she doesn't go into the door, but she leaves it open. Not long after, I think she falls asleep while she's still out in the forest. But when she wakes up and heads back into Halloween Town, everybody is asleep. And there's a white, powdery sand everywhere. So like immediately, if you know about the Sandman, you know it's the Sandman. We don't know in what context though. So the Sandman has cast the entirety of Halloween Town into a dream, like a sleep. And Sally can't wake him up no matter how she tries. She can feel the Sandman still lingering because it knows she's awake. So it's coming after her. So to escape from him, she goes into one of the other the other holiday trees to also look for help. Turns out that Valentine's Town is also all asleep. And I believe she tried Christmas Town as well, but eventually she ends up in St. Patrick's Town. I forgot that this was a tree, but also, like, I'm so glad we went to another different holiday. The descriptions were beautiful. Like, Megan Earnshaw writes very, very nicely, and the narrator is very Sally. So if you like audiobooks, definitely listen to it because it's just very easy to absorb as Sally because of the narrator and because of Megan's writing. So in St. Patrick's Town, she meets a leprechaun, and he's looking for the gold at the end of the rainbow, but he's also the only one awake in St. Patrick's Town. Like, he's lucky, so he's been able to evade the Sandman, and he actually gives Sally a 4-leaf clover for later. So that will help her on her journey to give her some luck. But there's no way he's going to be able to help her out, so Sally ends up on her own, heading back to Halloween Town and going back to that door she had left open. She doesn't know at this point that it leads to an ancient realm called Dreamtown, but she ventures in thinking if he came out of here, maybe there's something here that can, stop him or bring him back. And what she finds is this very, like, my image of it was very much like a not to say it's like a jail or a prison yard, but kind of a prison yard where there's just these very tired, drained-looking people farming and whatnot. And she goes into the village, and nobody talks about the Sandman. That's a we don't talk about Bruno situation here. But she finds more ragdolls, and they actually turn out to be her parents. The whole thing that happened with the Sandman is he was kind of getting out of line. He was doing too much, so they did trap him and kept him in Dreamtown because he was taking people's dreams. So Dreamtown's job was to help people sleep, but Sandman was also just taking the dreams, which kind of ruined it. So now we know the real goals, the real struggle with having the Sandman release. It's not just that everybody's asleep, it's that he's stealing their dreams, and he himself can't just be put to sleep. Like, you have to make a special potion. But Sally's also found her true parents. So they're both ragdolls, just like Sally. They had lost her because she was essentially stolen from them by Dr. Finkelstein when she was little, and I guess through either torture or whatever, he had erased those memories, but they're slowly coming back to her with parts and bits and pieces in the house. Obviously, because her parents have finally gotten her back, they want to keep her and kind of not really help with the Sandman. Like, they don't want, like, if he's not in Dreamtown, since they don't have dreams, like, he's not really gonna come back and threaten them. So they're like, if he's out there, like, he's not our problem. But Sally kind of starting to embrace that not only she's the queen, but this was her fault because she had opened the door. She's determined to stop the Sandman no matter what the cost. While she is with her parents, sort of trapped again, like, I think they lock her in a room, they go and they burn their circle of holiday trees. So there's no way that Sally can leave Dreamtown and get back. However, once they kind of realize like Sally's going to do this no matter what, and they do decide to help her, the way that she's able to leave Dreamtown is like sort of another crossworld to every world, and that's a graveyard. Actually, in this case, she went to a library first. So yes, graveyards connect to Halloween Town. My apologies. Graveyards in different areas connect to Halloween Town, but the library, or I guess libraries connect to libraries in the real world. In Dreamtown Library, I can't remember if it was like every library, but the Dreamtown Library itself connected to a library in the real world, but she had to kind of like pick the city. And I guess she picked London. I'm not entirely sure how. Like, she said she knew all these different names because Jack had mentioned them from his visits. So she picked London amongst all of those, and she actually ended up in the library of like the Queen of England, the Queen Victoria, I think it was. And turns out the whole real world, like us, was also put to sleep by, or at least that area, but I would assume it's the whole world at this point, was put to sleep by the Sandman. So Sally was able to get from the library to a graveyard without being seen because everybody was asleep. Goes to the graveyard, gets back to Halloween Town, and now she's able to make her potion, since she has been good at making potions from her time with Dr. Finkelstein, and she now has the recipe that she found while she was in Dreamtown. So she makes the potion, and this is a very nice, let's showcase the heroine's skills without just making her OP. Because as Sally is not just a ragdoll herself, but she's good at sewing and kind of creating dolls and stuff, she makes duplicates of herself that she can place around the town to lure and also distract the Sandman while she is kind of preparing her final attack. And then she puts the potion into the fountain in the center because she plans to lure him there and get him. This is one of the parts of the story that I thought was really well written, in the sense of you could really feel Sally's emotions as the Sandman is like discovering her her little distractions. And I also appreciated the fact that things did not just go smoothly and as planned. Like, we actually, like, yes, he was distracted by these, I think she made 6 by these different Sallys, but by the time he got to the last one, he's like, oh, I know this might be a fake one. So he's playing a little bit more cautious. And so when Sally's trying to lure him to the fountain, like, it doesn't go smoothly and we win the day like that. Like, there is struggle in this final ending, and I really appreciated that. Without giving you all the details, because I do think this is one of those that is worth reading for the experience, she does manage to get Sandman into the fountain and knock him out, which kind of breaks the spell on everybody else. They can wake up. Yay, Sally saved the day, and she's ready to embrace being Pumpkin Queen, but as herself. Like, she's not trying to dress up or fill someone else's shoes. Yeah, so overall, I did really enjoy the experience of this book. I can't think of anything I really disliked that stuck out. For the most part, I just remember being along for the ride because I didn't know what to expect, which is something I really enjoy. And I felt like Sally was true to herself and wasn't going above and beyond, or, you know, there wasn't any deus ex machinas that made everything work out. So I just really enjoyed it, but I do recommend reading it or listening to it for yourselves to generate your own opinion, because, not every book is for everybody. We can all agree on that. But if you did like it, let me know. And if there was something you didn't like, leave it in the comments, because maybe I'm just forgetting it because I enjoyed so much more of it. But let me know what you guys thought. Yeah, so hopefully I didn't spoil things too much for you guys, but I've already put the next book on reserve. It's gonna be like a few months, apparently, according to my library. And I think I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but Long Live the Pumpkin Queen is the first in a sequel. So there are 2 more books, and one of them just came out this past July, which is Hour of the Pumpkin Queen. That will be, I guess, it's not the next book I'm reading because there's like a 12-week wait through my library, but I am going to definitely continue reading it. It is a different author. It is Megan Shepherd, which is probably why I keep saying Megan Earnshaw in my head and combining the two. But the first one, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, was by Shay Earnshaw. Megan Shepherd is supposedly writing, or has written, Hour of the Pumpkin Queen, and will write the sequel to that, which they said is supposed to come out next year. So it looks like we'll have at least this and another book in this series that we'll talk about once I get my hands on them. But I can confirm for you guys that the next little Disney in Draw casual book review that we're going to do is going to be The Fairy Godmother by Jen Calaneta. And I'm excited. I am surprising myself to say that I'm actually excited to tell you guys how I felt about that book. So definitely look forward to that video. I'm still trying to figure out the vibe and the format for these videos, since they are a little bit different than what I've been doing for the Twisted Tale books. I do kind of like having this as just like a casual brain dump with the drawing in the back, but let me know if you guys have any opinions on that, because I do this for you guys. So I'm always open to some constructive criticism. Other than that, we're just having fun here. So we're just here to hang out and sort of more or less discuss some Disney books. But yes, I'm looking forward to the next book in this series. I really enjoyed this, and I recommend reading it. So until the next little chat video comes out, feel free to check out the Twisted Tales reviews in the playlist that is linked in the description, and it should be up in the corner for you to click on directly. But yeah, if you want to check those out, or if you're interested in my works, those links are below as well. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.